It's a new month, it's a new day. Welcome to Friday, September 1st, 2023. My name is Edward James Carey. Welcome to Praxis Living, where I create content to help you create the life that you desire. This is session 25 of my $1 million journey, where I'm going for my first $1 million by December 31st, 2023. What kind of day is it going to be today? If you've been following along, you know that the markets have been horrible for the month of August. I am currently in a trade that I made in the past 2 days where I've picked up a total of 30 shares at $30.95, $31.40, $31.44. We can see today in the pre-market that the share values are $31.33. Am I going to get out of this trade today? It's looking like it's a possibility. Stay tuned. The market's open in 3 minutes, and we will see how this morning plays out. All right, the markets are open. We are just waiting now to see if I'm going to get out of this trade first thing in the morning, or whether it's going to push into the later day today. I'm going to hold out, and I'm going to go for this top line of $31.80 and more. I'd like to actually see it go well past $32 before I close this position, but we will see. Let me just load up my sell order. All right, so 31.80 is my absolute minimum. I'm going to sit on that as a manual sell limit. We're at 31.76 already. Wow, that was fast. Almost reached 31.80 and then got pressed back down. It would be nice to get out of this trade first thing this morning so that I have this capital freed up to redeploy later in the morning if the market drops again. All right, so that initial push up did not make 31.80. We're waiting now to see if there's another rally up. All right, so share values did not push back up to 31.80, and we are now on the first major sell-off of the morning. We'll see if it bounces back up and continues past that line. Stay tuned. Volume is still low in the morning. 14 minutes in and only 378,000 shares moved through AI this morning. Still low morning volume. I'm used to seeing millions of shares trade within the first hour, and I'm not seeing that volume at all lately. All right, there is a potential sign here now that the second rally of the morning is this right here, which may be as high as we're going to see it, 31.32. Again, it's early to call that, but that's likely an indication that we are on a day of shares sinking rather than rising. Again, too early to tell for sure. Stay tuned. I'm going to let the morning play out and we'll see where we're at over the next hour. All right, welcome back. It is 7:25 a.m. in the morning. We're just under the 1 hour mark of being into the day, and I'm going to do a quick update here. I'm looking at the market and I do not see a strong rally up. I do see that we started trending up, but that trend weakened out and is now going flatline sideways. I do not like sideways friggin' markets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to consider selling these 10 shares that I purchased $30.95 for. I'm going to try to sell them at this 31.42 line, because at least doing that, I know that I close a 1.5% profit on those 10 shares. I suspect that it's already kind of going that way. I suspect that what's going to happen is the markets are going to decline through the morning, probably right through till 9:30 a.m. I want to see if I can close this position before that happens so that I can reposition the capital that I put in at a lower cost, and I can reattempt all of this previous stuff that I thought that I was going to get done. So right now the target is simply closing these 10 shares that I paid $30.95 for at a reasonable profit. Now, I've already had a couple of times as I've been watching the market that it crept above that $31.42 line, and I may have missed it now, just in my own indecision. It's quite possible that I missed it and that the markets are going to start trending down now. I still am in a profit position on the 10 shares that I want to let go. I paid $30.95 and we're at $31.28, so I'm already up over 30 cents per share. Okay, here's another swing up. Let's just see if I can get these. I'm going to confirm this order at $31.42, just so that it is locked and ready to go. And let's see if the market pushes back up to that nice $31.42 line. Now it's dropping fast, right back down to $30.95 where I bought them. So I'm just going to close this position. I'm going to accept the fact that I don't win on this one. Well, I do win actually. I just don't win as much as I would like. Okay? I'm taking these 10 shares off the market. I bought them at $30.95. I sold them at $31.14. So I made a little bit of profit. I can see that I made right around $2 worth of profit there. And, you know, that's nothing to brag about, but I'm so sick and tired of sitting here wasting my time watching sideways markets. I'm not going to participate in this. I'm going to enjoy my day. I'm going for a nice long walk right now, and I will be back later in the morning to see where markets are at. Now that I have committed my sell on those, I will be looking for opportunity to potentially redeploy that capital of those 10 shares that I did purchase. I will look for an opportunity to redeploy the capital at even less than $30.95 if the markets continue to decline this morning. Now, if the markets continue to go up, well, that's a different story. I still have 10 shares that I purchased at $31.40. I have another 10 shares that I purchased at $31.44. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take that top number of $31.44. I'm going to multiply that by 1.5%. And I see that that comes out to a total of $31.92. All right, so I'm going to take another 20 shares and I'm going to sell those at $31.92. And that way, if the market does go up while I'm in my absence, then I can at least make another 1.5% on that trade there. I'm going to commit that order. All right, so $31.92. Now, if you remember, I do have the option of including 2 shares that I paid $37.10 for with those 20 shares. And if all 32 shares sell at $31.92, I still recover 2 shares of capital in addition to making a profit. But that's not the play that I'm making. I'm going for a walk and I want to be in control of my dollar cost average positions. I don't want to leave them automatically on the market anymore. So I am willing to take the profit on selling 20 shares automatically at the expense of regaining capital on 2 shares that I'm likely to see the market go back up to $37 if I'm patient anyway. So there's no point in rushing those out of the market. So that is all I'm doing today. I've made a small profit on the 10 shares that I purchased yesterday or the day before. I'm set up to make a 1.5% profit on 20 shares that I purchased earlier this week. If the markets decide they want to go up, if the markets decide they want to go sideways, well, I'm not missing anything. And if the markets drop, then I will potentially catch a reposition with the capital that I just freed up from those 10 shares. Either one of these 3 things is fine with me. We'll see where we're at when I return. I'm going to enjoy my Friday morning. I don't care what the markets are doing. I'm in control of me. I'm going to enjoy my Friday. I hope you enjoy your Friday as well. I'll be back soon, and we will see how things go. All right, I am back. It is 10:30 in the morning, and we are 4 hours into the market. We're past the halfway point now, and let's take a look and see what's going on. Okay, it looks to me that the market continues to go sideways in a consolidated pattern. There are some swings. This high this morning of 31.50 was the highest it's ever been. This low this morning of $30.66 is the lowest it's ever been. It's been swinging back and forth between around $30.83 to $31.25, back down to $30.83, $31.25, and this recent peak, $31.31. So $30.80 to $31.30. That is like a 50-cent per share spread, and that just makes it really high risk for me to try to play in that kind of consolidation. Now, everything on this sheet that I have here, all these positions that I bought in, it's my responsibility that I created all of this crap, including these last 20 shares, 10 that I paid $31.40 for, and 10 that I paid $31.44 for. And then we've got a consolidated market today where it's looking like there's almost no possibility to do anything. Well, there is always opportunity and there is always possibility. It's just a question of how much risk are you willing to trade in order for those payoffs. Now, when volume on the day is high, look at the volume today, 4.7 million shares traded at 10:30. That's 4 hours. We've had mornings where 5 million shares have been traded in the first 30 minutes. And yet we don't even have 5 million over 4 hours. This, as a result, you can see what happens with the share value. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do anything. There's around 30 cents per share of volatility right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to wait it out. My decision is to wait things out. I'll give it some time. It's 10:30. I'll give it a little bit more time and we'll see what happens soon. So stay tuned. I'll be back shortly. All right, I am back. It is 11:27. It's 11:30 in the morning. I'm going to have a look and, ooh, what timing? I'm sitting here and I'm seeing shares still consolidating very tightly back and forth. You know, the pattern that I'm seeing right now that is going on is the high points are getting lower and the low points are getting lower. To me, that is an indication that the market is trending down right now. It looks like it's going just sideways, but in actuality, what it's doing is it's slowly trending down. All right, I'm just going with my gut on this one. I am not making a play right now. I'm just gonna let it sit and I'm going to walk away. We'll see where things are at closer to the end of the day. Stay tuned. Today is Friday. I'm going to be doing a financial update for my week to week at the end of the day to see how I'm doing overall. And yeah, I'm just going to do something else for now. I'll be back soon. All right, I am back. It is 10 minutes to 12, and I just happened to notice that shares of AI are making a strong break in the upward direction. In the late afternoon, there is a bit of a strong rally up, large waves of buying volume coming in. And considering that the way things have been going the past couple of days, I'm looking at this as a potential opportunity to sell out the 20 shares that I purchased earlier in this week once it breaks past $31.44, if it continues going up. Now, I already have a sell limit on those shares, if you remember, for $31.92. And this rally may go up there. It's hard to say, but I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can at least recover the capital in those 20 shares, because I don't know what the next week is going to hold. But having the capital of 30 total shares in my possession feels better to me than having the current 10 shares that I have in capital in my possession. I'm just going to hang out here and see if this rally continues. And if it does, I will take advantage of it. Again, we're moving slightly up at 31.39 now. We're within pennies per share of my break-even point on my 20 shares. Less than 10 cents now. Now, we have been moving in an absolutely flat line consolidation for almost 20 full minutes now since this rally up. This rally up happened at 11:46. It is now 12:07. And since that rally up, we've had this completely sandwiched consolidation. I don't know what to do other than sit and watch. All right, I'm looking at this consolidation so tightly in the past hour, waiting, sitting, hoping for something to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but I suspect that what is going to happen is it's either going to have a breakaway sell-off or a breakaway rally up. And I'm trying to hold on and be patient to see which it's going to be, because I do have capital to add a position of 10 more shares just to see if I can push things over the edge. And you know, what I'm thinking is, if I take these 20 shares and add in the cost of 10 more shares, new shares, then can I get that dollar cost average down to less than $31.40? Can I get it down to $31.38? $31.37? I don't know. That's what's going through my mind right now. But then, if I go ahead and do something like that, throw in 10 new shares to try to dollar cost average my whole position of 30 shares lower, and then I just hit it right before a massive sell-off, well, then all of my capital is invested, my hands are completely tied, and there's absolutely nothing that I can do in that position. All right, it is clear to me that whatever triggered this run up earlier in the afternoon was an anomaly, and there is no volume to support it, and there is no volume that is going to continue it. Shares have been sideways ever since that rally up, sitting at an average price right now of $31.20 or somewhere around there. So it is 20 minutes to the close of the market. I'm just going to leave things alone for the day. I'm going to put my 20 shares that I took off the market, I'm going to put them back in the market at the original price that I was looking for, which was $31.92. And I'll hold them until next week. At least at $31.92, it makes a solid 1.5% profit on those 20 shares. And that's what I'm gonna sell them for. And I'm just gonna wait till next week, give it a bit more patience, a bit more time. And yeah, I don't expect to see a rally in the next 20 minutes up to $31.92. That doesn't mean it can't happen though. So if it does, hopefully I will catch it here live and we will see. Other than that, I'm gonna take a break, let the markets close so that I can calculate my total balance in my account for the entire week, and then I will do a comparison from last week to this week, and that'll be it. That'll be a wrap for Friday. So stay tuned. I'll be back shortly. All right, I am back. The markets are closed for the day. There was nothing that happened at the end of the markets. I've already closed TradingView. I believe shares closed around $31.20, which is nothing to rave about. But today is Friday, and I wanted to do an end of the week comparison to my position where I am today compared to last week. Let's go have a look. And as you can see here, on the left here is the balance that I had at the close of the bell last Friday, $44,452.49. And here is the balance that I have at the close of the bell today, $47,501.53. Now, as you can see, there's a $3,000 difference between these two amounts, and nothing has really changed. I haven't acquired any more shares. I haven't made any profitable trades this week. The only thing that has changed is the value of the shares. You see, last week I was holding 1,523 shares that closed at a value of $29.15. That's where the share value was last Friday. This Friday, I'm still holding 1,512 shares, which is actually a little bit less than last week. But as you can see, today's closing price was $31.23, which is higher than last week. That's why there's a $3,000 difference on my balance sheet. And right now is a good time to reinforce this fact that the way I was taught trading is to not lose money. And the only way that we lose money, there's a couple of ways. Number one, the most obvious, is selling shares at a loss, which I do not do. And the other way is if a company just all of a sudden overnight goes bankrupt and the shares become worthless. That can happen, okay? So I'm not ignorant to that, but it's unlikely to happen when I'm trading shares of C3.ai, which is the company that I trade in. I would feel even better if I was trading exclusively in companies like AMD or NVIDIA or even Tesla. None of those three companies are going bankrupt without any warning, as far as I can tell. But C3.ai, as much as I like the company, as established as it is, they are still in the development stage, so anything could happen with the company overall. I'm hoping that before anything unforeseen does happen with C3.ai, that I am at least able to recover my capital from the shares that I currently have in, and I'm not going to go through that again. You know the list if you've been following along. So that is it for this week. That is it for today. We have closed session 25, and I will be back on either Monday or Tuesday, depending on which day the markets are closed and which day the markets are open. And I'll be back here for session 26. If you've been following this series and if you're liking the videos, if you've subscribed to the channel, I appreciate that. It helps me grow. I hope you decide to join me on the next session, 26. And if so, you can follow me on that session right over here.